Hi guys, I wanted to talk about the build quality real quick, and then also I've got some pictures to show you, prints actually, that I think look pretty good. So I know some people wanted to see some actual image quality, so I figured I'd show you prints. The build quality on this is actually pretty solid. One thing that's like not talked about at all is the mount. It appears they have a new mount with 6 screws that they've made for larger lenses probably, because they know it's going to be used for that type of thing. So my guess is that's why they did that partly. I actually think the build quality is really pretty good compared to my xt2 here. I don't think it's quite to the level of the xt2, but I think Fujifilm actually probably makes the best built cameras. This one I wouldn't trust putting it in the rain just because of this vertical grip. Otherwise, I would totally take this out in the rain, no problem. The xt1 I also have an xt1. I've taken that out in the pouring rain and it's just held up magnificently. I don't know if I would take this out there just because I might. I just feel less comfortable it being so expensive and it being, well, basically that. But there are a couple things. I'm not a huge fan of this plastic port here. I wish that was like, I don't know, it feels kind of cheap. I don't know. I know ports aren't necessarily supposed to be the highest end, but it, as you can tell, I don't know. I don't really like them. I don't trust that they'd actually keep water out necessarily that well. Maybe they do. It says it's rated too, so, but I don't know. That's one thing I don't like compared to the xt2. I think the port here, I don't know, it feels like it's more like tight to the actual where it clips in, and there's only one of them also, which is nice. This has a little lever that you pull out on that and it snaps in. I like that. The Sony has a little lever for the SD card slot that's like that. I actually like that too. I just don't really like the ports on this side. Not a big fan of them. I probably won't be using them much anyway. I used this bottom one here to charge my camera a little bit, but that's about it. But as far as the dials and actually the feel of it, it feels really built out. I mean, as you would expect for as expensive as it is. So that's kind of what I wanted to share about the build quality. The buttons, everything takes time to get to learn, or takes time to learn if you're to a new system. I got used to the Fujifilm system, but this feels good. I like where the button placements are personally because I've gotten kind of used to it. If you're coming from Canon or Nikon, you might have a completely different story from that. That's just me. But I did want to show you these prints real quick. These are 8x10s. I had to crop them a little bit to get them to 8x10, so it's not my complete composition, which is unfortunate, but you get kind of an idea. This is one. This is the one I told you guys about that I used. It was probably about close to 15 meters away that it actually got on her eye, and I was super impressed with that. Here's another, just so you can see like how sharp this lens is. It's super sharp, and that's like the biggest deal with this. I mean, you could put an 8.7 on here and still get this sharpness and actually probably get better low dynamic range, but I am going to test that versus this. And I probably will try to post the results of that. I'm going to try to on my computer. This is another one that I took. And of course, lighting and everything is key to getting great results with any camera. But this combined with this lens, I have no problem with 24 megapixels. And as far as the anti-aliasing filter, that doesn't bother me. I had it on my A99 and that thing was super sharp too. So I don't think that's a big deal. The high ISO on this is crazy good. I want to share a picture with that at some point. For that, I'll probably share a couple of my wedding pictures. I did have permission from my client to do this, by the way. She was cool with me showing the pictures I took. And I will say about these pictures too is that they're almost straight out of camera. The only thing I edited was I increased the vibrance on the green and the purple on the colored pictures, and then I did do a little bit more with the black because I wanted it pretty high contrast. I like really contrasty black and white images. That's just the way I like to shoot. So I did want to show you some image quality. So that's that. Hopefully you guys could see it. I'm doing this on my phone, so I don't know if it's going to be real in focus or that great. But that's about it. The build quality is pretty solid, as you should expect for a camera of this price. It's definitely the most well-built Sony camera as far as their E-mount. I will say, the grip is something you have to get used to. Depending on how big your hands are, I have pretty decent sized hands. The A99 II, I had a chance to play with that a little bit, and that felt amazing in my hands. So again, if you're coming from a DSLR, you might have problems with the smaller grip, which is why I added a grip to this xt2, because it is a much easier camera to hold, especially when you're shooting a lens like this. Everything works better like that. So eventually I plan on getting the vertical grip for this. And then at that point we'll see. Again, I don't like using the vertical grips and necessarily using it in the rain. That would worry me a little bit. I'd probably use it in the rain a little bit, but not if it's really bad. So again, that's just my take on the build quality. It is good. I don't know if it's quite Fujifilm quality good. But again, they're differently built too. This is definitely a solid camera. To me, it still feels better than a DSLR, and I think it's because the DSLRs, I know that the pro-end ones have magnesium alloy bodies, but it just feels kind of plasticky because of the way they do it. But that's it. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching.